this is what if Naruto was a snake sannin, was the new snake sannin part 3. Um, Again, thank you so much. I've gotten so much positive feedback, so many new subscribers. It's very cool. Thank you. I wanna again recommend my Discord server. There we have daily conversations on new what if ideas and overall pretty funny stuff. Yeah, join if you want. It's fun. So yeah. Also, don't be shy to share any what if ideas you have if you want to. I'd be more than glad to do them myself, and I'll give you credit. So yeah, because good ideas are good ideas. It shouldn't be wasted, right? So again, what if Naruto was a snake sounding part 3? So the image on the screen is how he's gonna look from now on. I know some people say that he looks like Sakura, but that's not Sakura. That's not Sakura, don't worry. So, last time we left off when Naruto went off on a 3-year journey around the 5 great nations to learn about the world, get stronger, yada yada. Itachi stayed with Orochimaru, training. So yeah, I want to talk about a bit about Naruto's training. So, about Naruto's journey. So, when Naruto first left the village, yes, so as soon as he left, he wanted to first do a bit of training with the snakes, because he wanted to perfect his Sage Mode. Now, he went to the Snake Summon world for about 2 years, and by the normal world standards, it was like literally a month, 2 months. It was 2 months, but he was there for 2 years, training on Sage Mode, and he has now, after he came back, he has now basically became a perfect Snake Sage. He has surpassed Orochimaru in Snake Sage Mode and everything that has to do with snakes. The snakes love him, everything. Now Naruto wants to figure out what to do with his snake mark. You see, it has recently been causing him problems, but he doesn't want to go to Orochimaru to solve it. He wants to do it himself. So he decides to go to the land of iron and work with the scientists there. Because in this what if, the land of iron isn't only known for their samurais, they're also known for their physicians and scientists. And so Naruto started working with these scientists, and he has heard of Tsunade and her technique called the Byakuya mark, and he said that he saw that his previous snake mark works almost the same way, so he just decided to perfect the Byakuya mark in his own way. Now, all this new snake mark of Naruto's does is it basically takes 15% of Naruto's chakra along with a huge amounts of nature energy and condenses them into one singular point / seal, which is the Rome, which is the little thing you see on his forehead. Basically the Byakuya mark, but in Naruto's new style. So when the mark is released, it increases all the base stats by, I'll say, 50%. So strength, speed, stamina, everything is increased. Also along with regeneration, because yeah, he had the base for the mark was still the Byakuya, right? So after he did that, he trained with it a bit, perfected it, and the image, one of the images is how it looks. You can see it. So after that, he still stayed in the land of iron, and he decided that he wanted to forge some weapons. Now, if you remember, Naruto has Crystal Release and Blaze Release. Blaze Release is Amaterasu, but he doesn't need the Sharingan for it. So to create weapons out of his crystal release, it does take a bit of time, so it's not very functional. Of course, he can create kunais and shurikens pretty quickly, but still. So he decides, but katanas are like even harder to make. So he decides to go to a blacksmith, a swordsmaker, a professional one, and with him create the ultimate swords that don't break and don't dull. So he managed to practice his crystal release to perfect his crystal release to the point where it takes a lot of chakra, but he can make his crystals harder than diamonds, literally. Harder and sharper than anything. So he forged those blades, went to the blacksmith, swordsmaker, and he just put on the sheath and the handles for the new katana and tanto. So now he uses those, along with maybe a few ninja tools. So now Naruto is wandering around the 5 great nations, just helping out people there and then. He has helped out the Raikage of not the Raikage. He has worked with the Raikage closely on doing a few missions. He's basically like a mercenary / assassin / guard for hire. And he has also worked with the daimyo of the earth and the fire country. And he has actually became great friends with the daimyo of the fire country. So now Naruto, the fire daimyo suggested Naruto on a mission. He told him that there exists a temple called the Fire Temple, and there are guards for the daimyo, but they also train, practice, and live a good life. And Naruto is like, are there strong people there? The daimyo says yes. I can personally tell you that a very strong man lives there. His name is Chiriku. Yes. And also a man named Asuma, but he is in the Leaf Village. Naruto says, oh, I've heard of Asuma, yeah. I've done a few missions with him there and then. Fine, I'll go to the Fire Temple, see what it's about. So Naruto goes to the Fire Temple, and he comes to the gates, and there are 2 guards. They meet him, and he's like, I've come to try out for joining the Shrine Guardians, the temple members. And they're like, oh, so a new member, huh? Well, fine, come with us. We shall test your skills against one of our top fighters. And then comes out a bald man in a white outfit, and this man says to Naruto, hello, I am Chiriku, and I shall be your proctor. And Naruto does get in a stance. He's like, what are we using? Taijutsu, ninjutsu, kenjutsu? And Chiriku says, anything. I shall use everything in my possession. Naruto says, sure. So, of course, Naruto does underestimate Chiriku a bit, but he still takes him a bit seriously. So he gets in a stance, about to pull out his katana out of the sheath, and he just rushes. When the guards said start, he blitzed towards Chiriku, and Chiriku did the same thing with the kunai he just pulled out, and they started getting in a fight. Now Naruto is very good at kenjutsu. He's not a samurai master, but he's very good. So he can give a samurai a run for his money. And unlike other samurais, I think, he actually uses his tanto in battle. So he's basically dual wielding and sometimes even throwing the tanto and the katana around. It's a very irregular fighting style. It reminds everyone there of a snake, very wiggly, very smooth and very actually sharp. So yeah. And then, as Chiriku was about to go behind Naruto, Naruto basically did a few hand signs in lightning speeds. People thought he just did one hand sign when in fact he did the summoning jutsu, which is like a few, and he summoned Daisuke, the snake, his personal summon from his arm, which basically went around his arm and blitzed towards Chiriku, who was almost getting behind his back ready to stab Naruto, but Daisuke literally swallowed the kunai and went onto Chiriku's hand, and it almost bit him, but Naruto said stop, and Daisuke stopped, and Chiriku was like, why'd you stop him? Naruto said, Daisuke's poison can kill you in an instant. So yeah. And Chiriku is amazed at Naruto's strength because he's never seen someone that strong before, and he's like, do I maybe know you from somewhere? And Naruto says, no, you do not know me, but you might have heard of Orochimaru, the snake sannin. And Chiriku says, yes, I've heard of him, but how do you relate to him? Naruto says, well, Orochimaru was my sensei and my adoptive father. So yeah. So Chiriku goes on to talk to Naruto along with the other members of the Shrine Temple, of the Fire Temple. They become great friends, and this Shrine Guardian uniform that you see in the picture, this is what Naruto wears while he's in the shrine. His day-to-day life in the temple is pretty simple. Just waking up in the morning, training, reading, sometimes guarding the daimyo. But the training there is very intense. He does become stronger, a lot stronger. He does perfect his crystal and blaze release, perfect his kenjutsu, and he noticed something that the more he uses his the more he uses Sage Mode, he starts gaining like those scales on his face, but he doesn't really care, because he likes snakes, and if he starts looking like a snake, he doesn't really care. But this is not imperfect Sage Mode, it's just the effects of the snake Sage Mode. That's just how it is. Naruto has perfect snake Sage Mode. So yeah. And when Naruto goes into the Snake Sage mode, he gains like the color of his shirt, the reddish thingy, the reddish color. That's the type of eyeliner he gets, like the Orochimaru's, but in that different color. And his eyes turn into snake-like. So yeah. Now Naruto, during one day at the shrine, at the fire temple, he decides that it's time to go talk with the Kyuubi. And he goes into his mindscape for, I think, like a second or maybe third time. He's been there before, but he didn't talk to the Kyuubi. And Ninetales looks at him, opens his eyes, and starts talking in a demonic voice, saying, "What do you want, human? Have you come to take my power? Or is it something else?" Naruto says, "No, it's nothing, I just wanna talk to you, see how you've been." And Kurama Ninetales is taken aback by this. He's like, "Yo, what? Bro, I'm the Ninetales." Naruto says, "Yeah, I know, but I mean, kinda lonely here. How about we become friends, so that you won't be that lonely?" And also, because Naruto has the full Ninetales, he has the full Kurama, so Kurama is more good here. So he's more like not evil. Not like Kurama was ever evil. He's just angry at everyone. But now Kurama is less angry, but he's like, you get it. So he thinks about it and says to Naruto, "Alright, human. We shall become business partners for now. Maybe sometime in the future we can move on to be friends. But I shall not..." And then Naruto says, "Can I have your name?" Kurama says, "I do not trust you, human, so I shall not tell you my name. But in time, if you prove to be trustworthy." Naruto fully understands Ninetales. He does understand. He can kind of understand how Ninetales feels. Yeah. So that thing, because everybody in the village doesn't really like Naruto because they do know he's the holder of the Kyuubi. Basically, he's the Jinchuriki. And he's like, okay. So Kurama kicks him out of the mindscape, and Naruto goes about his day. A few days later, Kurama pulls him into the mindscape while he's sleeping, and tells him that I have considered your offer on becoming friends, and I agree, and I accept. We shall become friends. My name is Kurama. I already know yours. And so they do become kind of friends. Not like best friends, but they can talk to each other. Naruto did a thing one day. He went up to the seal and he loosened it up a bit because he doesn't think he can handle the nine tails yet. And Kurama tells him that you can't handle it yet. But he asks Naruto to loosen up the seal a bit in a few areas so that he can see. Yeah, to loosen up the seal so that he can talk and see and hear with Naruto. So that he can talk to Naruto also telepathically, so yeah. So that happens, and for the rest of the 3-year training thingy, Naruto spends at the Fire Temple, going out of there from time to time, seeing the world. He has gone around 5 great nations. He's a close friend of the Raikage, Tsuchikage, Lightning, Earth, Wind daimyos. He has seen Gaara. The new Kazekage. They are pretty good friends because they're Jinchuriki. He has a lot of connections. He's famous. Yeah. He's just known as Hebi, or Serpent around the... Yeah. He's just known as Serpent around the 5 Great Nations. So yeah. Naruto, one day, comes back to the Fire Temple and sees that... No, actually, I take that back. So one day Naruto is in the Fire Temple and hears some commotion outside. He goes and sees Chiriku trying to hold off 2 men in black and red robes. And Naruto quickly rushes there and goes to help. As soon as Naruto comes, the men start falling back. But in the end, Hidan manages to catch Naruto off guard. And Kakuzu kicks him away into a wall, and then sending a few jutsus towards him, so that way Naruto couldn't really react. So Naruto is out for a bit, and they do take Chiriku. This time I say they don't kill him, they need him alive, because the person who hired them needed Chiriku alive. So they're walking towards their usual path. This is when the Asuma death arc happens. And Asuma and his team are there, and they see that Chiriku is there. And Asuma, basically the same fight happens, but right before Asuma was about to get nicked with Hidan's scythe, a Tanto comes flying at the scythe and basically sends it back. Then a katana comes flying towards Hidan and cuts off his head, cuts off Hidan's hand that was holding the scythe, and everyone's like, what? And then from like the forest a few miles away come giant crystal spikes, bullets, and wrapped around in flames, black flames. And Shikamaru remembers this, and he's like, huh, so he's back. And Choji, yeah, and Shikamaru says, you'll see. So, Hidan and Kakuzu are like confused, like, what the heck? And then, some more spikes come flying out, and they see a boy/man, around the age of like 18, 19 years old, just running towards them at immense speeds. And they're like, and Kakuzu remembers the guy, and he's like, that's the guy from the temple. And Naruto is already close by. Kakuzu is trying to protect Hidan because he doesn't have a scythe. So he's sending those stitches towards Naruto. But Naruto just immediately pulls out his regular katana, and he just starts cutting it up. And Kakuzu is pretty shocked because nobody can really cut through his things in this canon, right? So, but Naruto's just casually cutting through the things and running towards. Naruto then immediately activates his snake mark and just blitzes towards Kakuzu, basically literally creating a few spikes and just stabbing Kakuzu randomly in the chest. Naruto doesn't know that Kakuzu has many hearts, but he does manage to destroy he does manage to destroy 3 out of the 4. And Kakuzu sees that he has only 1 heart left, and he's like, "Yo, Hidan, we have to go." And Hidan says, "Heck no, I ain't gonna go. I'm gonna kill this bastard." So, yeah, Hidan rushes at Naruto without his hand and without a scythe, basically being dumb Hidan. And he tries to punch him, but Naruto literally just kicks Hidan in the face. Like, literally front kicks him and just sends him flying towards the trees. Asuma and Team 10, which is Shikamaru's team, see this and they're like, Who is this? And Shikamaru says, "That's Naruto." And Asuma says, "Oh, so that's Naruto. I forgot how he looks. He's changed. And I didn't know he worked at the fire temple." And now Kakuzu and Hidan do stand up. Kakuzu is next to Hidan, stitching back his arm and his scythe. So they're back. And Naruto does see that only one strange thing in Kakuzu's chest is left. So he's like, "I gotta destroy that to probably kill him." So Naruto rushes at Kakuzu. Basically, at one point, when he was about to stab Kakuzu, Hidan throws his scythe at Naruto. It starts spinning, about to hit him. Everybody thinks that Naruto's dead, done for. But when the scythe hits Naruto becomes many white-red snakes, and who are just slithering towards Kakuzu. They go on top of him, biting him everywhere. And Kakuzu is out for the count. He's paralyzed. The poison is too much. So Hidan's left, and Naruto sends more snake his way, and Hidan does manage to kill many snakes, which enrages Naruto because it's his precious little snakes. So Naruto creates the same scythe as Hidan, but much longer, and he just swings it in front and just literally cuts Hidan in half when Hidan wasn't looking. And when Hidan is cut in half, he really can't do much. So, yeah. Naruto takes Hidan and just burns his body with his flames. So Hidan is dead. Ironic. And Kakuzu is taken into... Naruto sealed Kakuzu in a scroll. And so then he looked at Asuma and Team 10, and he's like, "Yo, Asuma, Shikamaru, what's up?" They talk a bit, and Ino was looking at this guy, and she's like, "Yo, he's cute." And Choji's like, "You want some chips, brother?" Naruto says, "No thank you, but thanks for asking." So Naruto actually decides that it's time to go to the fire temple, to go one last time to the fire temple, and then go back to Konoha. Naruto says that he's gonna take Shiriku, because he knows that he's not dead, and he's just gonna go to the fire temple and leave him there. It's about time he returns to Konoha. So Naruto in a flash takes Chiriko and just blitzes off towards the fire temple. And then in like a minute or two, in the 2 minutes, Naruto already explains to Chiriku what's up and that he wants to leave. And Naruto literally leaves. And now he has the outfit, which you can see on the screen, the new outfit. And he does have the fire symbol and the Ryuchi cave symbol, along with yeah, literally. So Naruto and the Team 10 are going towards Konoha, and they come at the gate, and the guards do stop them, and they're like, "Halt! Who's there? Who's this guy?" And Naruto says, "I'm Naruto. Long time no see." And they're like, "Oh, you can pass. Go to the Hokage's office." So Naruto goes there. On his way, he does see the hateful looks that haven't changed. And he's like, this place never changes. Why the heck should I protect it? I don't get it. I do not get it at all. But whatever. If Orochimaru wants it, I'll do it. Plus, the place is pretty. That's what he's thinking. So, he goes there, and on his way, he sees a girl. A girl with pretty black hair, black eyes, nice figure, right? And he's like, "Huh, I should surprise her. So he goes behind her and asks, "Excuse me, young lady, do you know where the Hokage's office is?" And the girl turns around and sees Naruto just grinning at her, and she immediately recognizes him and hugs him. This is Itachi. They're like, "I haven't seen you in so long." And Naruto's like, yeah, it's all cool. So they do talk, make out a bit, right? All this stuff. I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm not good at describing it. It's hard to describe. Sorry. They do make out a bit. Yeah. And then Naruto tells Itachi that he needs to go to the Hokage. Itachi comes with him, and at the Hokage's office, Tsunade is like super stressed. She's like, God, what's going on? So Naruto and Itachi come into the office, and they see Tsunade there, and Naruto's like, "Yo, Grandma Tsunade, what's up?" So Tsunade recognizes him, and she sees the mark on his forehead, and she's like, "Naruto, what is the Byakuya doing on you?" Naruto says, "Oh, it's not the Byakuya, it's a new version of my old snake mark. It's based on yours, but I think it's much better." And Tsunade says, we'll see that later. But now, I'm glad to welcome you back in Konoha, but there is an urgent mission. Extremely urgent. The Kazekage, Gaara of the Sand, has been kidnapped by a group called the Akatsuki. Naruto says, "Oh, the Akatsuki. Haven't heard of them." Anyways, we going on this mission, the two of us, and Tsunade says, "Yes, unfortunately you do have to go there by yourself. There's not a lot of people we can send. Everybody's busy on missions." So Itachi and Naruto do head towards the Sand Village. Now Itachi's outfit, she has left the Anbu. She's just a Jonin. So Itachi is wearing her regular Jonin vest, basically a regular Jonin outfit, and Naruto is wearing his outfit with the fire and Ryuchi cave symbols. Yeah. And they're talking on the way, talking about life. The topic of Sasuke and Taka, the group that Sasuke's in, is brought up, and Itachi immediately is sad, but Naruto reassures her that we'll get Sasuke back, and we'll stop this organization from doing anything stupid. They will stop both organizations from doing anything bad. So yeah, they get to the Sand Village, they let them in, and they go towards the place. And they come in, and everybody sees Naruto. All the kunoichis of the Sand Village are just like melting from the sight of him, and Itachi is like seeing that, and she's getting jealous. So she literally just takes his hand aggressively and literally drags him. And Naruto's like, okay. So all the girls see this and they're like, tough luck. So they get towards the place where Kankuro and Temari are. Temari begs them to save Kankuro if there's a medic and go find Gaara. Naruto is a bit annoyed that they're asking for all this help and can't do anything themselves. So he does bring up the fact that they're kind of useless, the whole thing. So Temari and Rasa, who is the previous Kazekage, who gave his position to his son, because Rasa thought that he wasn't really good for it, are like thinking about it, and they do realize that their village isn't really that good in anything, except wind techniques. So they're like, we'll improve on that, but please save them. Is there a medic with you? Naruto says, oh, you need a medic? What type of medicine? He's been poisoned? And they say yes. Naruto says, perfect, this is my specialty. Didn't know I'd have to use it here, but okay. So Naruto goes in there and sees that this is a very, very good poison, unheard of. So he actually manages to get the antidote much quicker than Sakura, because he's a poison expert, forgot to mention that. But he's pretty good in poisons and stuff, how to do antidotes. So he gives it to Kankuro, and Kankuro wakes up a few minutes later. And he gives Naruto the thing. And he tells them that he has a little cloth piece. And I'll say snakes are also used for tracking. They can be used for tracking. Actually, yeah, snakes are used for tracking, and they can see the heat signatures that were left a while ago. So Naruto and Itachi do go track down the Akatsuki, along with Chio, who does want to come and save the Kazekage. And so yeah, they same thing as in canon. They get there, and they do arrive a bit earlier than in canon, because there's two of them, and they're more skilled than canon counterparts. Only Naruto, the rest don't exist. And they break in. Naruto did break the seal because he just sent his snakes there to pull it out. And yeah, they see Deidara almost finishing the sealing process, and then yeah, they almost see Deidara and Sasori finish the sealing process. So Naruto does send a few crystal bullets at them, hitting Deidara because Deidara wasn't focusing, and Sasori did see this, so he dodged them. So they're like, oh god. And so they had to stop the sealing because there wasn't enough of them to do the sealing process. So Naruto started fighting Deidara, and Itachi started fighting Sasori, right? So the thing. So the fight with Deidara goes as follows. Basically, Deidara starts sending little bombs towards Naruto, the little one, spider one, along with a giant bird in the middle. And Naruto does know that this is literally that this is Earth style, but unfortunately he doesn't have lightning. So yeah, he doesn't have lightning. He only has 2 Genkai, and that's it, which is a bummer, but still, I won't make him too OP. So he does just cut straight through them, and they do explode, but it doesn't really affect them because he does send them away. So Naruto blitzes towards Deidara with his tanto on one hand and his katana held in an opposite manner, in an opposite way, upside down basically. And Deidara is like, huh, you don't know how to use a katana, eh? So Naruto smirks at this, jumps up, and literally somehow does a triple flip in the air and basically sends his tanto and his katana spinning at crazy speeds towards Deidara. And Deidara is like, what? But then he sees that the katanas are going away, not gonna hit him, so he starts laughing. And he's like, so you're strong? Those didn't even hit! And then he stops talking because 2 katanas were in his throat. Like Tanto and that katana were in his throat. How that happened was that Naruto spun them so fast that they were acted like boomerangs. They went out of their way and then came back at Deidara. So Deidara is like basically choking. So that's a quick end for Deidara. But then it happens that it's a clay clone, right? And the real Deidara is about to sneak up behind Naruto, but then Daisuke comes out and bites Deidara into the neck. So Deidara is done. Not dead, but done. Actually, Deidara is dead. The poison is too much. It kills immediately. And Sasori sees this, and he gets angry because Deidara was the only one who was an artist, a true artist like him. So he starts going all out and pressuring Itachi a bit. But if you remember, Itachi has been training with Orochimaru and Tsunade from time to time. So she's strong, but also like a snake somewhat, fighting style. So she's managing to dodge from Sasori. And at one point, she manages to imbue her katana with lightning. I don't know if Itachi has lightning in canon, but she does here. She does have lightning. So she stabs Sasori's scorpion puppet, and the real one has to come out not to get stabbed. So he summons his third Kazekage puppet and is about to send a bunch of sand spikes towards Itachi, but Naruto does like hand sign, crystal wall jutsu, and he just creates a giant crystal wall in front of Itachi, and the sand almost pierces through. And Naruto is shocked because almost nothing can break through his crystals. But he has read about the third Kazekage and does remember that it's iron sand, so he's like, okay. Naruto pulls out his two katanas, the real ones, and he imbues them with his blaze release with Inferno style, and he just runs at Sasori, running in Sasori along with Itachi and Chiyo helping out with her puppets from the behind. Sasori is overwhelmed and his heart does get stabbed, and yeah, Sasori dies. Deidara is dead too. So Naruto is like, okay, I have heard that you can make good money from the black market. I'll sell those too. But now we need to figure out what to do with Gaara. But Gaara, because they didn't finish the sealing process, yeah, Gaara is still alive. So Chiyo doesn't have to sacrifice herself, but Gaara is almost dying. So Naruto pours a bit of Kurama's chakra into Gaara. Itachi and Chiyo think that Naruto is gonna kill him, but Naruto reassures them that he's friends with the Nine Tails, so everything will be fine. So Gaara does wake up, everything happy ending, right? Now, meanwhile he's doing that, one of the Akatsuki members, who was a hologram, was watching Naruto, and this man had a Rinnegan and a bunch of piercings, but that wasn't seen in the hologram. And he's thinking, so Naruto Uzumaki, the new snake sannin, I shall kill you personally, or you can join our organization, but that will come in later. Yeah, evil laugh. So Naruto, along with Itachi, Gaara, and Chiyo, go back to the sand. Everybody thanks Naruto and Itachi for their help. Yeah, they go back to the leaf, and they go to Tsunade's office to report, stuff like that. And after the report, Tsunade tells them something very serious. She tells them that she has got info that Danzo is planning a revolt. She has gathered info that Danzo has been gathering much more shinobi lately to his Rutanbu, and lately been talking with many clans like the Aburame and the Inozuka clans, and she's finding that a bit too suspicious, and she thinks that it's okay, guys, I just realized something. Tsunade doesn't exist. Just ignore that Tsunade was in this whole thing at all. Tsunade isn't here. She's not the Hokage. So it's Hiruzen. So yeah. So Hiruzen's like tells them about the Danzo's gathering clans and shinobi, and Danzo tells them that he's suspecting his clan, not Asuma and Konohamaru, but his clan, the other clan members. He has seen a bit of aggression from them towards him, and he's also seen that the Hyuga side branch isn't very yielding lately to the main branch, so he's finding that a bit too suspicious. So, Hiruzen tells Itachi and Naruto to be ready at any time for a surprise attack from Danzo's forces. Meanwhile, Hiruzen is gathering his own to, in case, go against Danzo. Because Danzo can't take over the village because he'll just make it into a dictatorship, right? A military-based dictatorship. And Hiruzen doesn't want that. So, Naruto and Itachi do head home. Naruto goes to Itachi's house, talks to her parents a bit, says hi to everyone. And then he sees Itachi sad. He asks her what's up, and she says that Sasuke isn't here. He could have been here, all happy and all. But Naruto tells her, he made a choice, he left, we'll get him back, don't worry. So, a week passes, and the Leaf Village has been getting more and more unstable. And Naruto doesn't like that, so, yeah. And then, one peaceful day, around 10 days after the Gaara rescue arc, explosions start happening near the edge of the village, and some in the other side too. And Naruto runs out his apartment along with Itachi. Yeah, they were sleeping together. Not gonna describe their nights. Yes, they've done it. Don't worry. They've done it already. Yeah. I'm not gonna describe their nights. Not good at it. So yeah. Um, so they see explosions and they immediately run towards them. And they see many unfamiliar Anbu, along with Hyugas and Aburames and Inozukas, and basically a bunch of people killing off civilians and everyone. And shinobi of the leaf, Jonins, Chunins, Genins are literally just falling. And Naruto isn't liking this one bit, so he just stood Inferno style, giant Inferno ball jutsu, and he just sends it, and he kills so many shinobi with that, literally just incinerates them. He starts creating giant crystal spikes, basically piercing many. Now, I'll talk about a bit the amount. No, that's later. So, he just starts killing off shinobi, along with Itachi, who's just murdering people. Murdering those shinobi who attack. And when they're done with all the shinobi in that region, they go towards the center where they heard some commotion. And there they see regular Jonins and Chunins fighting unfamiliar shinobi, plus Haburame's Inozukas. And they see Choji and Ino fighting against Neji and Kiba. And yeah, so Naruto sees Shikamaru behind like a building, and they go towards him and ask, "What's up? What's happening?" And Shikamaru tells them that Danzo has done the revolt. Inozuka, Aburame, and the side branch of Hyuga, along with Rutanbu, have now gone against the village, killing off innocent civilians, planning to take over the Leaf Village to basically gain power and do a military dictatorship. That can't be allowed to happen. Help us out. And Naruto and Itachi do that. So this is more of like the final battle. Like all the forces of Danzo and his clans and stuff like that are on one side of the village, and the Hiruzen's forces, the Jonins and Chunins. Jonins and Chunins are participating, some Genin, but not a lot, because they need to be saved. And civilians are being evacuated by the Genins, actually. So yeah, they're on two different sides of the village, and Hiruzen, along with Naruto and Orochimaru, come forward on one side, and Danzo, along with the leaders of the Aburame, Inozuka, and side branch of the Hyuga, who I'll say is some random side branch Hyuga, come forward, and Danzo tells the Hiruzen, give up. We have a larger force. We have more people. We have more strength. Give up being Hokage. I shall become Hokage and make this village great. You cannot do that. You are incapable of doing so. And you, Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, I shall take you, brainwash you, and make you into the perfect weapon. And Itachi's getting a bit pissed at this, getting the tick marks. And then Danzo just screams out, "Forward, men!" And yeah, that's to see what happens in the battle, and later on with Taka and the Akatsuki and Naruto, Itachi, everyone. To see what happens to them, join next time for the next part. Join the Discord server again. Like for example, today I got a great idea, got feedback from it, and it's actually gonna be the next What If. I'm just gonna give you a hint. It's gonna have to do with Madara. If you want to know what it is going to be, join the Discord server and find it. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, suggestions, any new ideas for what ifs. Bye.